Welcome to Menopause Monday. Today I'm talking about itchy skin, which is one of the top symptoms of menopausal ladies. There's a few reasons why you might be suffering from itchy skin. So I'm going to go over the common causes. And I mean, itchy skin is one of those things that really have a negative impact on your life, purely because one, it's really uncomfortable, but two, if you've got like lumps and bumps appearing where you've not had them before and you're becoming more sensitive about how your skin is looking, it can have a real knock-on effect to how confident you feel. And on top of that, I think during the menopausal years, perimenopausal years, we go through a lot of changes ourselves. And I don't know about you, it certainly knocked my confidence in me individually. And, you know, when our skin is not looking at its best, it can have a really negative impact on how you perceive yourself and just how you feel, you know, confidence wise within yourself. So I thought it'd be useful to sort of dive into itchy skin in more detail today. I know last week I spoke more about itchy skin in general, or sort of skin in general, the common causes of skin problems in the menopause. But today is specifically about itchy skin. So a lot of it is stress related, which is why if you've not already taken up the mantra for this year or the rest of your menopausal years, I am going to give myself grace, please start doing it, because giving yourself grace is going to help your entire journey through the menopause. A lot of our symptoms are related to how we deal with stress and the adrenal glands, because the adrenal glands actually back up the job of the ovaries. So when we stop producing estrogen, when our ovaries go into retirement and they stop producing estrogen, our adrenal glands actually back up the job of the ovaries. So if our adrenal glands are already tired through stress, then it's going to make all our symptoms a lot worse. So if you can focus on stress management and understand we can't get rid of stress is always going to be around, but if we can manage our stress more effectively, it's going to have a really positive impact on the symptoms that we struggle with throughout the menopause. So just going back to itchy skin, there is something called articaria. Now, oh, it's making me itch. There's an itch. Articaria is when you're actually seeing changes in your skin. So you might be getting red patches, you might be getting lumps and bumps, you might be getting like little itchy things, sort of little itchy, little nodules that appear underneath the skin. They can be highly itchy, and that's called articaria. That is largely linked or related to our levels of histamine in the body. Now, histamine it's making me tickle, histamine is worse when we're under stress. So again, it goes back to stress management. But also histamine is one of those things that for instance, if you're tired and run down, and that's when you tend to get the ulcers, you might get spots, your skin just suffers. The body doesn't need us to have amazing skin for us to survive, which is why when we're run down, our skin and hair and nails tend to be suffering. But histamine is it's going to be more pronounced when you are under stress, because it just gets released into the body more readily when we're under stress. When we've been bitten by something, a mosquito or something, and it itches, that's a histamine response. That's the body's natural response to create that inflammation, to help us manage and get rid of that itchy bump that we've got because of the bite. But histamine is quite interesting, because some of us, particularly if you have things like leaky gut, if you've got IBS, if you struggle with your gut health, the chances are you may well be making insufficient amount, excuse me, of a certain enzyme called Diamine Oxidase. Now, most of us have sufficient, I'm really itchy, most of us have sufficient Diamine Oxidase in our bodies. But if you've got a leaky gut or some of those stomach-related, digestive-related issues, the chances are you may be deficient in that particular enzyme. There are certain foods that you should be avoiding if that is the case, and also incorporating sort of 48-hour fasting, purely because fasting is one of the fastest ways for you to actually heal your gut. When you give your gut a break, I mean, it's good for us all in any case, but particularly if you're struggling with leaky gut, IBS, that sort of thing, you can do like a 48-hour fast every 2 to 4 weeks. and that means complete fast. So give it a complete break. It's going to, or maybe just eat some leafy vegetables in the evening. If you absolutely, you know, I know some of us really struggle to fast. If you're one of those people who really struggles to fast, just have like green leafy vegetables or a green salad in the evening, just to put something into your body. They're also going to help your body deal with histamine more effectively, particularly low leafy green vegetables. They're always a winner. But there are certain foods that you might find that you're eating which are high in histamine and which are going to be aggravating those problems. The way that you can find out if you're actually sensitive to some of those foods is to just maybe keep a food journal. So if you find that you're eating certain food groups and they, you know, a couple of hours afterwards, or soon afterwards, you're getting a headache, it might be leading to migraines. You might find that you feel, you know, a bit woozy when you stand up fast. That can be related to low blood pressure, but it can also be due to being sensitive to histamine. So there are certain things that you can cut out of your diet in order to see if you are, you know, sensitive to these particular foods. And those foods, I will list them below, but they're things like strawberries, fermented foods, vinegars, what else? Avocados, surprisingly. That's a bit of a killer for me because I love avocados. However, I don't seem to have a histamine response. But if you do, avocados, unfortunately, are quite high in histamine. Eggs, mustard, tomatoes, black tea, chocolate, some canned foods, from aged cheeses, cured meats, that sort of thing. Those are going to be high in histamine. The foods that are relatively low in histamine, and so ideally you want to replace the high histamine foods with the low histamine foods, are things like blueberries, asparagus, green tea, squash, butternut squash, all the kinds of squashes, courgettes, which are great because I love courgettes, cauliflower, green leafy vegetables, bell peppers, turkey, white fish, that sort of thing. Those are low histamine foods. Also, if you are struggling with a histamine response, you can take things like, I mentioned nettle tea last week, and if you like foraging, if you like eating things from the wild and you've got like a lot of nettles in your garden, make some nettle soup. It is going to be so good for you. You can also make nettle tea, just steep some nettle leaves into some boiling water. But if you don't fancy doing that, you can get nettle complex from the health food shop. That's going to help you to manage your histamine response. So just know that if you're coming out with that articaria, so you're getting those reactions to food and drinks that are making you then go itchy, and you're getting those lumps and bumps and those sorts of aspects of it, the chances are that that is linked to histamine. Now, if you do the regular fasting, the idea is to actually heal your gut so that you don't have to worry about having a histamine problem in the future, but just take that into account, that if you're having reactions after you've eaten certain food groups, just keep it in, whether it's in your diary, just write a piece of paper, whatever it might be, track it somehow, that when you get a response, just think about what did you eat and drink in the last 2 hours. And if you keep that going for a couple of weeks, because you will see a pattern, and you'll be able to identify the foods that are triggering your histamine response. The next thing that can be leading to our itchy skin is just dehydration. Also, a lot of us think we're hungry and we're not. We're dehydrated. We need drink. Oh, water. Like, I'm hungry, give me a massive glass of Prosecco. I do that myself sometimes too. Just being honest, 100% honest with you, it's 80% good, 20% not so good. It's all about balance and fun. We need to have fun in our lives too, don't we? So I was dreaming about Prosecco. So yeah, if you're feeling hungry, always have a glass of water beforehand, because it's always going to do you good in any case. But it could well be that you're just dehydrated. Our skin takes, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's about 4 weeks from sort of the beginning of the new layers of skin underneath to get up to the top layer of our skin, which is what you can see here. And then obviously that sheds, and that's why exfoliating is really good for us, but not too often. If you exfoliate too often, that can aggravate your skin too. You want to exfoliate probably once a week with a a softish exfoliator. I mentioned in last week's video the various sort of homemade exfoliants that I use and that I find really effective. So, you know, if you've not listened to that video, go back and have a listen to that, because that does deal with skin as well. But if you're struggling with itchy skin and you don't feel like you've got a histamine intolerance, then go, you know, just up the amount of water that you're drinking on a daily basis, particularly if you're getting a lot of hot flushes, you know, and night sweats. They can really dehydrate you. So, I mean, as a guide, you should weigh yourself in pounds and divide that answer by 2, and that's the amount of fluid ounces of water that you should drink a day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to be drinking a minimum of 100 fluid ounces of water a day. And if you struggle to drink enough water, what I always say to the ladies in my fit community is habit stack. So stack a habit which you've not yet really, or something that you want to develop into a habit with a habit that you already have. So like going to the toilet, you know, we're in and out of the toilet several times a day. Whenever you've come out of the toilet, have a large glass of water, and you'll find it will help you remember then to drink your water. Yes, if you're new to drinking more water, you're going to be going to the toilet more often, but within about 2 weeks your body will get used to that, the more water that you're drinking. It's going to have a really beneficial impact on just every aspect of your life. Water is absolutely key. We need to be well hydrated, and you will notice the difference in your skin. It's like I said, it'll take sort of 4 to 5 weeks before you start to really notice a big difference, but stick with it. We all need to be drinking more water. Just on the histamine thing as well, there are to help you promote the to supplement the amount of that enzyme that you need, the Diamine Oxidase. It's pretty revolting stuff, but liverwurst, like beef wurst. So it's like, you can get it, what's it called? It is liverwurst. It's like a pate that comes from beef liver, grass-fed beef. And if you like those sorts of things, you'll get it from your health food shop. That is great at helping, you know, you make up those amounts of that enzyme that you need. And the other thing is grass-fed kidney supplement. It's so funny when people say grass-fed kidneys, I have like images of little kidneys walking around the grass, nibbling the grass ends. But a grass-fed kidney supplement too. Again, if you don't really like kidneys, you can get the supplement from the health food shop. If you're vegan, it's not going to do you much good. But there are other things that you can eat, like the green leafy vegetables and that sort of thing. But I will list them all out in more detail at the bottom of this, because I'm sure there's a few that I've forgotten to mention to you. Low blood sugar levels can also not only just precipitate a hot flush, which can make you go itchy sometimes, but low blood sugar levels can also be responsible for itchy skin. So again, if you've not eaten for a little while, obviously if you're doing your 48-hour fasting, you're just going to have to stick with it, drink plenty of water. But if you've got low blood sugars, that can also lead, it causes a stress response in the body, which might be releasing the histamine, but the low blood sugars themselves can also lead to itchy skin. So just be mindful of that. If you don't have a problem with histamine itself and you're not fasting, just make sure that, you know, you're eating a good meal 3 times a day. I always say include greens and lean protein and healthy fats, ideally at all 3 main meals of the day. Low blood sugar levels also, if you need a snack, I think a handful of nuts, non-salted nuts is perfect. They're full of all sorts of very healthy minerals that we need, healthy fats. They're high in fiber. You don't want to overdo it on the nuts because they are high in fats, but they are very, very, they're healthy fats, and we need fats. Dates are fantastic. I know they are a dehydrated fruit. Are they dehydrated? I suppose they are dehydrated. But they are high in boron as well, which is particularly good for us throughout the menopause. So dates are a really good snack. What they called apricots, see brain fog, apricots without sulfides. You can get them in some health food shops. You want to go the ones without sulfites, ideally. They're better for you. So yeah, just make sure you've got a few healthy snacks on hand. Also, you can make your own little protein balls at home. I do that with, I blend up dates, add some coconut oil to it, because again, healthy fats. I add normally some chia seeds, maybe a few oats, some blueberries or cranberries, something that's quite juicy and tart. And I roll those up into balls, and then I roll them into like desiccated coconut. Or even, I also add some dark cacao nibs. Those, because they're the tiny little cacao nibs. They are superb for, they're superbly high in antioxidants, and they're really crunchy too. So you've got this lovely gooey, doughy, like gloopy ball with these crunchy bits inside. And then if you've got like the blueberries or the cranberries or something to give it a bit of, or black currants, it's just like, it sort of touches your taste buds and textures and everything on every level. Plus it's super healthy. It takes next to no time to blend it all up. Literally just roll them up, make them into balls. I stick them in the deep freeze. And then when I just get one out a day. And if I'm like going on a long walk, I always pack 2 or 3 of them. They are absolute lifesavers, but they are delicious too. So do consider making your own protein balls. They're really, really good. And, if you're struggling with low blood sugars, they're going to help to keep you going. Now, there is another symptom or another reason for itchy skin, and it's formication, not fornication, formication. And I think it comes from the Latin word, well, in French, ant is formi, and formication, I guess, comes from Latin, and it's the feeling of little ants underneath your skin. It's like really, really itchiness. And I've had this on the back of my hands. Sometimes I get it on the inside of my right shin. It's really bizarre. And strangely, when I have coffee, so this is probably a histamine response, my left nipple itches. I have no idea. It's just really specific areas. And it wasn't until actually I was doing some research for this to look at the sort of histamine specific foods that I thought, when I have a coffee, I've noticed I get an itchy left nipple, and it's the left side of it too. It's not even like the whole thing. That is obviously that kind of a response. So, but the formication is literally that feeling of ants growing, climbing on the skin surface of your skin. You can rub St. John's wort. I never know. Is it wort or wort? Wort. St. John's wort oil into that area, and that's going to help to reduce the sort of the specificity of that itchy area. If you've got it, I just put up with it. But if you have it badly, you might want to consider that. Also know that St. John's wort can interact with other medications. So if you're on medications, just check first, because it can interfere with meds if you're already on meds. So just make sure that you're aware of that. And then another reason is stressed liver. Our liver has a heck of a lot to do. And if you're waking up sort of through the early hours between like 1 and 3, that's normally when our liver is working pretty hard. That's when it's doing what it needs to do. It's cleansing us, detoxifying the body. And if you're consistently waking up between about 1 and 3, the chances are it's your liver creating a lot of energy, because it's got a lot to do. You can help it by going caffeine free and cutting out booze for a while. It's just, and also processed foods and sugars. If you can reduce your processed foods and sugars, that's going to really have a positive effect on your liver. Not forever, but just give it, maybe try and do it to maybe find what works best for you. So some people prefer 2 days a week where they completely cut out the extras. Or maybe you just want to find like a healthy, I drink tea chino, which is a herbal coffee. It's completely caffeine free instead of coffee. I still enjoy coffee, but the tea chino is a much healthier alternative. So, if I really want to give my liver a break, I'll go teetotal. I will cut out caffeine. I don't eat a lot of sugar anyway. I don't really like processed food, so I don't have a problem with that. But you might find that just by try it and see what an effect it has on you. If you're cutting those out, you might find your hot flushes get worse for a short period of time while your body's detoxing and readjusting. But if you're new to that sort of lifestyle, stick with it for a good week to 10 days so that you give your body the chance to get out of that detoxification period and actually enjoying the benefit of a of a liver that's working well. Also, milk thistle is a supplement that you can use to help support your liver health. Again, use it for a small period of time. It's not the sort of thing you want to be relying on. I know somebody who used to drink a lot, and he used to say, well, it doesn't matter because I'm taking milk thistle supplement, but you shouldn't be taking it for forever. Really, just the drinking is more of the problem. So either cut down the drinking so that you don't have to take milk thistle, or, you know, just look after it, support the health of your liver. It's an incredibly important organ. It is one of our fastest reproducing organs of the body, thank goodness, but you know, it's not invincible. So just bear that in mind. So those really are the main causes of itchiness. Of course, if you've put something topical on your skin and you're having an allergic reaction, again, that's histamine based, but that'll be due to the fact that you've put the wrong sort of thing on your skin and it's caused an allergic reaction. So really focus on those sort of, if you're getting those lumps and bumps and the itchy, long-term itchiness, it's likely to be histamine related. So manage stress more effectively. You can do things like meditation, prioritize your sleep, eat healthier, drink more water, maybe listen to, there are so many meditating apps, aren't there? There's like 10-minute meditations. Exercise, it's brilliant. It's going to help. It gobbles up stress hormones. I know I talk about it every time, so I'm sort of loath to keep talking about it, but it does make a big difference. Helps you cope with stress better. Also gives you more energy. And make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And yeah, if you're deficient in that enzyme, consider liverwurst or a grass-fed kidney. Ugh. But you might like it. So if you do, you're on to a winner. Also, just finally, probiotics are going to help support our gut health, whatever. Every day I take digestive enzymes, pre and probiotics. Prebiotics actually feed the probiotics. So that's why you want lots of leafy vegetables, lots of fiber from good fruit and vegetables. That is the prebiotic. And then the probiotic is things like you get from fermented foods, like the kombucha. But remember, if you're histamine intolerant, kombucha and fermented foods are not going to be helping you at this stage. Greek yogurt, live Greek yogurt, something that contains the live bacteria that's going to help populate your gut lining. If you're on various medications, that can interfere with the health of your gut. If you've been on long-term antibiotics, or you've had a course of antibiotics, consider getting some. It's called multidophilus. Get that from your health food shop. That's just going to help to repopulate your gut again properly, so that it's got the right balance of the healthy bacteria. Our gut is so important for our overall health, including our mental health. 90% of our serotonin gets created in the gut. It's not created in the head or the brain, which I think most people think it is. Serotonin is one of our feel-good hormones. 50% of our dopamine, another feel-good hormone, is created in the gut. Gut health is absolutely paramount to how we feel up here. So when your gut's working well, the rest of you've given yourself a huge boost on every level. So I hope that helped. If you've got anything that you want me to cover in future episodes, please send me a message. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with anybody who you might know is struggling with the menopause, or even moving into the sort of perimenopausal years. I wish I'd known what I know now before I hit perimenopause, because like most people I talk to, we saw our doctor and it wasn't even brought up. It was just like, they suggested I had antidepressants. I wasn't depressed. I was just perimenopausal. It's just, anyway, that's another story. That's time for another Menopause Monday. So yeah, hope you found this helpful. Make it a great week. Stay safe, avoid the lurgy, and I'll catch you soon.